1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe visited the chief prelates of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters and obtained blessings prior to the 75th anniversary of independence. Several houses have been damaged due to incessant rain and strong winds experienced in the Polonnaruwa district from last night till dawn today. A report will be submitted to the President to prevent further import of rubber materials. The FEB gives undertaking to Supreme Court on power cuts. Foreign news, US secures deal on bases to complete arc around China. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe visited the chief prelates of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters and obtained blessings prior to the 75th anniversary of independence on the 4th of this month. Meanwhile, the Philatelic Bureau issued a 50 rupee stamp and first day cover which was handed over to the President Ranil Wickremesinghe at a ceremony held in Kandy to mark the 75th anniversary celebrations of independence. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has issued an uncirculated commemorative coin in the denomination of 1,000 rupees and presented it to the President at a ceremony held in Kandy in line with the Independence Day celebrations. It has been reported that several houses have been damaged due to incessant rain and strong winds experienced in the Polonnaruwa district from last night till dawn today. Meanwhile, 2 official residences of the Pulastipura National Science Faculty have also been damaged due to bad weather conditions. District Disaster Management Unit said that the assessment of the damage is being estimated. The electricity supply in the district was interrupted due to falling of electricity cables. The road transportation activities were also obstructed. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the recommendations of the committee appointed to look into the import of rubber materials than the required quantity will be submitted to the President. This decision has been taken by the relevant committee at a discussion held at the Ministry of Finance. This committee was appointed on the 9th of October last year under the patronage of the Ministry Secretary of the Plantation Industry, B.L.A.J. Dharmakirti. The import of additional rubber quantity was decreased considerably due to the measures taken by the committee. The minister also said that information have revealed that some multinational companies are still importing rubber materials under high prices. Therefore, a report including these facts will be submitted to the President. Power cuts will not be imposed until the contempt of court case filed by the Human Rights Commission is taken up for debate tomorrow, the Ceylon Electricity Board said today, giving an undertaking to the Supreme Court. The case was called before the Supreme Court judge bench comprising Preeti Padman Surasena, Yasantha Kodagoda and Shiran Gunratne this morning. The rights group had filed a contempt of court against the Power and Energy Ministry Secretary, CB Chairman and the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation Chairman over their failure to abide by the agreement reached during a recent meeting to provide an uninterrupted supply of power during the period of the advanced level examination from January 23rd to February 17th. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Plans will be made to increase $1 billion income from foreign jobs this year. Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment, Manusha Nanayakkara, says that the income has been increased up to $476 million by January, which was at $175 million in May last year. He made these remarks while participating at the opening ceremony of Grand Serendip Hotel in Kandy yesterday. This 5-story tourist hotel is comprised with all facilities, and that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, Sri Lanka police have issued an announcement on road closures and limiting vehicular movement in Colombo for the 75th Independence Day celebrations this Saturday. However, the residents of relevant areas and staff members travelling to their workplaces will not be inconvenienced by this special traffic plan, the police noted. The motorists using these roads are advised to use alternative roads for the time being, and that came to you in Watchlight. Now moving on to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. U.S. secures deal on bases to complete arc around China. Ukrainian defense minister says that Russia is planning the 24th February offensive. And Cardinal George Pell's funeral sees mourners and protesters clash. The U.S. has secured access to 4 additional military bases in the Philippines, a key bit of real estate which would offer a front seat to monitor the Chinese in the South China Sea and around Taiwan. With this deal, Washington has stitched the gap in the arc of U.S. alliances stretching from South Korea and Japan in the north to Australia in the south. The missing link had been the Philippines, which borders 2 of the biggest potential flashpoints, Taiwan and South China Sea, or the West Philippine Sea, as Manila insists on calling it. Ukraine's defense minister has said Russia is preparing a major new offensive and warned that it could begin as soon as 24th of February. Oleksiy Rezniko said Moscow had amassed thousands of troops and could try something to mark the anniversary of the initial invasion last year. The attack would also mark Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day on February 23rd, which celebrates the army. Meanwhile, 3 people have died in an attack on the city of Kramatorsk. Mourners and protesters have gathered and clashed at the funeral of Cardinal George Pell in his Australian homeland. The Catholic cardinal died in Rome last month, aged 81, after complications from hip surgery. Formerly one of Pope's top aides, Cardinal Pell was Australia's highest-ranking Catholic, but his public image was tainted by unproven allegations. He concealed and committed child sexual abuse. Inside St. Mary's Cathedral, where Cardinal Pell served as Archbishop of Sydney for over a decade, dignitaries including former Prime Ministers John Howard and Tony Abbott filled pews. Back to the headlines of the world news. U.S. secures deal on bases to complete arc around China. Ukrainian defense minister says that Russia is planning 24th February offensive. And Cardinal George Pell's funeral sees mourners and protesters clash. And that ends world news. Moving on to a bulletin of development news. Thangala Hadunkotua Vavel will be reconstructed and 20 million rupees has been allocated by the Tangol Agrarian Service Office. Irrigation facilities will be provided to 250 acres of paddy land. And that came to development news. And moving on to sports news, today is the 3rd day of the 4-day cricket match being played between Sri Lanka A team and the England Lions team in Galle International Playground. Sri Lanka A scored 136 runs in their first innings. England Lions team scored 467 runs in their first innings. Sri Lanka A team scored 331 runs for 2 wickets in their second innings. And that was sports news. Up next is business news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Western Province Tourism Board says that the Sitawaka DC railway journey will begin from the 12th of this month. Chairman of the board, Sudat Hewapatrana, says that it will begin from Colombo Fort at 7 in the morning every Sunday. The tourists can get this train from Fort to Colombo, Maradana, Baseline Road, Kota Road, Narahenpita, Nugegoda, Maharagama, Kottawa, Homagama and Paduka railway stations. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first, and this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC. Imagine the possibilities.
In economic news, Sri Lanka has managed to earn $13 billion from merchandise exports in 2022, the Sri Lanka Export Development Board said in its performance report for the month of December 2022. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
In the weather report, the depression over southwest Bay of Bengal has entered through the east coast of Sri Lanka and is moving across the country. Therefore, cloudy skies will prevail over most parts of the island and showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the northern, north central and eastern provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur elsewhere during the afternoon or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Putnam district. Strong winds about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the northern, north central, eastern and northwestern provinces. And that was the weather report. And before we conclude this news broadcast, the headlines once again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe visited the chief prelates of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters and obtained blessings prior to the 75th Independence Day celebrations. And several houses have been damaged due to incessant rain and strong winds experienced in the Polonnaru district from last night till dawn today. A report will be submitted to the President to prevent further import of rubber materials. CEB gives undertaking to Supreme Court on power cuts. And foreign news, US secures deal on bases to complete arc around China. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.